Today we're going to talk about the spheres of the Earth. There are actually 4 spheres of the Earth. The first one would be all of the rocks, the land, the soil, and everything essentially that makes up the solids of our planet. This sphere is known as the lithosphere. So whenever you hear something that is a solid, think of the word lithosphere. Litho means land. Next, we're going to put some water into our diagram. So here we have a river and a little bit of a waterfall, which spills down into a small lake. There are other bodies of water that we can consider. Of course, we have the oceans and the seas, rivers, streams. All of that makes up the sphere known as the hydrosphere. Just like in the word water, which is hydrogen and oxygen, we have the hydrosphere, which literally means water sphere, or water and a globe of sorts. So the hydrosphere, the water. Next, we really can't see the sphere called the atmosphere. The atmosphere is made up of all the gases, all the air that surrounds us. We'll talk about the layers of the atmosphere a little later. Now, clouds are one of those things that are kind of hard to classify. It's made of water and air, so it's really made of the hydrosphere and the atmosphere combined. Now we'll put in some plants and perhaps a couple of trees. These are coniferous trees, as you may recall. These kind of trees make cones, not flowers, for their reproduction. And, well, we're going to need some animals too. So why don't we put in some of these birds, excuse me. Some of these birds. And we'll put in one fish. And maybe 2 fish. And let's do a red fish and a blue fish. And maybe one other animal, something that lives on the land perhaps. So we'll put in this hump thing. I don't know, what shall we turn it into? Yeah, let's make it into a turtle. All of which make up the sphere of life, otherwise known as the biosphere. The biosphere is every living thing here on Earth. So bio means life. So that makes up the biosphere. All right, would you all please, first of all, somebody pause the video, and then would you please take out your notes? So we need to fill in our different spheres, and of course all of the air would qualify as the atmosphere. So if you haven't already done so, write the word atmosphere into the upper left box. All of the land is the lithosphere. So if you haven't already written that, write the word lithosphere, which is all the solids, all of the land that makes up our Earth. And of course, as you know, all of the water makes up the hydrosphere. So write the word hydrosphere on that bottom right box. Hydro is all the water, the lakes, the streams, the rivers, everything that you can possibly imagine made up of water. And finally, on the bottom left, all the living things that kind of intersect the other 3 spheres is called the biosphere, where all 3 spheres overlap in our Venn diagram. So biosphere is all the life, all the animals, all the plants, all the bacteria, everything that's alive. I've given you a single sheet of blank paper. Would you please draw a picture of a forest here in Sullivan County? Label the parts of the atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. Make sure to have some water in your forest diagram because you'll need a place for your hydrosphere to go. At this time, stop the video and you'll have a few minutes to work on your drawing and make sure you label a number of things appropriately. Okay, on the back of your paper, we're going to number 1 through 8. Don't worry if you haven't finished your diagram. As long as you've got at least one or two things from each of the spheres, you're all set. So, on the back of your paper, number from 1 to 8 for each of the following pictures, and identify the sphere of the Earth. Remember, your choices are atmosphere, all the gases; lithosphere, all the solids on Earth; hydrosphere, all the water; and biosphere, all of the life. So this first picture shows a picture of the sky. And can you figure out which sphere that is? Please write that down for number 1. The second picture shows a whole bunch of bacteria, and that belongs to one of our spheres. For number 2, please write down where you think these bacteria belong. For our third picture, we have this anteater, and please decide what sphere that belongs to, and write that for answer number 3. For number 4, we have a picture of a lake. So for number 4, what sphere does this lake belong to? For number 5, we have the picture of this ocean. What sphere does this ocean belong to? For number 6, we have all these rocks. What sphere do the rocks fit into? Write that down for number 6. Number 7 shows some smoke, which pollutes one of our major spheres. What sphere would the smoke go into? That's number 7. And finally, the last and number 8, we see some soil. And as you know, soil is not just made of dirt, but there's some of the biosphere mixed in. But most of the soil is dirt. And what sphere would that fit into? All right, that's about it for spheres. Would you please make sure that your name is on your paper and submit your paper to your teacher?